Hey everyone, I'm Amanda Pasciucco, licensed marriage and family therapist, and we're going to talk about anxiety when your partner is the problem. Stay until the end to learn more about how to communicate better with your partner. I'm a trauma-informed therapist, and I'm here to help you on your mental health journey. How to cope with this problem is a pretty niche thing, but I'm glad that you're here so we could talk about it. Just to be fair, anxiety and stress in two people living together is normal. Even if you had a roommate, you would have quirks and issues because not everyone cleans the same way, sleeps the same way, does their routine of the day, showers. Like, everyone does things different and they consider what they do normal. However, everyone's normal is really different. So just keep that in mind, because there's going to be some level of anxiety and stress just by living with another human being that didn't grow up in your family. So the first thing to do is, when you start feeling stressed and anxious, coping skills for yourself, like diaphragmatic breathing, where you be sure when you inhale, you push the diaphragm and the belly out, and when you exhale, you bring the diaphragm in. And another thing you could do is progressive muscle relaxation. That's when you go from the feet. So you'll say, I'm relaxing the toes, relaxing the foot, relaxing the ankles, relaxing the heel, relaxing the calves, relaxing the shins. And you go all the way up your body to the top of your head, and you've addressed each part and just kind of noticed it to relax it. So these are things that you can do yourself when you're noticing anxiety and stress coming up with your partner at home. It's important that you do these things first, because if you go right to them and you have like a prickly or kind of an attitude in your voice, it's not going to be the same type of conversation. So if you're able to self-resource with some of the tools I just shared, recognize that there are things with stress that you might have to explain to another person. Just because you're living together and partnered doesn't mean that they quite understand why this matters to you. One person might love stuff and one person might love minimalism. So you would have a conversation about what these things mean to one another and find a way to maybe put things in an organized way for the person who doesn't want the things to begin with. Collaboration is important so that both people find a win-win. Remember not to blame another person. Instead, figure out what you can do, such as active listening. When someone shares something with you, repeating that back and being like, yeah, I think I heard you say this. Is that close? That sounds really attuning versus someone shares something that's important and you say, yeah, but for me, it's actually this. Not attuning. There's no empathy, there's no connection that's happening before. So it's important when you have a partner who's stressing you out, the partner is someone you love and care about and you want to stay in this relationship, to notice what you can control. Of course, if we're on a 1 to 10 scale and this partner is 7 to 10 of stressing you out, might not be the best match for you, just to be honest, because you don't want to live in a situation where it's that much of a mismatch all the time in your own home. Just something to consider. When discussing issues, focus on listening, not just understanding, but listening, being sure you can mirror and reflect back what you heard. So you need to show and prove to them that you're actually listening. Just because you want this back for you, I'm sure too. Who doesn't want someone who's actually deeply listening to them? I think that's a huge part of what's healing about meeting with a counselor or therapist. What do you think? Is that healing for you when someone else just listens? Or do you really want them to hear and understand what you're saying? I think both have important implications, to be fair. It's not necessarily one or the other, it's more both and. Setting healthy boundaries, just knowing that, okay, I go to bed at 9, you go to bed at 11. So for me, I'm going to be in the bedroom with quiet, lights out, and a sound machine at this time. You get to do what you want until that time, but when you come into bed, I expect that same quiet, respect, just like I would have for you. So making sure that you set boundaries that are agreeable to both of you. Seeking support outside the relationship, a men's group, yoga, book club, Tai Chi, Reiki, something in a group setting that helps you feel connected to yourself and to others. Not necessarily just your partner, but to have a support group around you. I think that's important when you're feeling anxiety and stress at home, to have a place that you go that feels homey. When you dedicate times to the things you love, you start to feel more positive. Fostering empathy and understanding. It's really important to show that you have empathy towards your partner. Putting effort and empathy towards a partner, to me, is the difference between being single and partnered. If you're not going to put effort or empathy towards them, why are you even with them? That's kind of the point of love, respect, and care. Love is unconditional. Relationships take work, such as effort and empathy. If you don't really know how to do those things, like put in effort or communicate, get the inner aspect checklist on how to speak more accurately to others around you so you understand what you're saying and so that you can feel more clearly understood by other people. Also, if you're interested in things to do with your partner that don't have to do with anxiety and stress, maybe you can get Connect, and that will help you begin your journey at home. If you have a comment, Facebook, Instagram, X, or YouTube at The Sex Healer or Amanda Pasciucco. Catch you next week.